I think that it's good to come out of here with a point. It's a difficult game. I think they presented different challenges, some that we expected, some that we had worked on and trying to solve. Proud of the guys for the effort that they put in. Another clean sheet over these last couple of games. And so happy with the work, the result, and us, keep us our ability to keep building on the stuff that we've been working on.
Rumba, yeah. I mean, it seems like you figured out the defensive part of this. The defensive performances have improved, like you talked about actually when you first took over. Well, how do you translate that into more attacking, maybe goals, maybe more? How do you use that experience with the defense to make it something that maybe you can translate to the attack?
Well, I think just the defensive side, we're just making sure that we're still sticking to the principles that as we are expansive, we're just allocating players to make sure that we keep the continuity of our defensive structure. But I think if you watch us play, I think we are generating, if you look at the course of the last couple of games, I think we've generated more in the attack. Sometimes the ball goes in, sometimes it doesn't, but I think that we're more proactive to getting into spots where we're creating chances and continue to create chances all throughout the game, even to the very end. So I think that it just sometimes as the ball goes into the net, it continues to keep going into the net. But I think that if you look at our team from the start of this transition, I think that we're creating more in the attacking half than we have before.
Yeah. Rumba, I guess after 2 weeks off for the international break, do you think you saw more freshness from you guys, or was it more rustiness?
No, I think that I think we saw some freshness with the amount of work that guys did, but also I think that you cannot take away credit from Red Bull for being a very difficult team to play against and trying to stretch you and causing you to work extra hard. So I think that they also present a different challenge with the way that they play and how direct they play at times that you do expend a lot of energy playing against Red Bull.
John, we'll go here in the room.
Coach, to that point, it seemed like that they were getting the ball in good positions, but you always seemed like it just always seemed like the defense was calm, that you were getting in good position to block and to just deny them chances. And of course, Joe Willis had an outstanding game. Are you happy with the way, as you said, the defense is improving, but the positional defense, where it seemed like the guys were in the right spots at the right time?
Yes, for sure. And I think that as we talk about on the offensive side of being brave and courageous and taking risks and going forward, it leaves you expansive and it leaves you vulnerable. And so I think the guys did a good job in their 1v1 defending, in their functional group defending, of being committed to do all that defensive work. And so definitely happy with guys taking on that responsibility to be courageous as well, defending and not sit at the top of the box and absorb pressure, of trying to build pressure in order to push them back, and then hopefully win the ball in their half. So definitely happy about the guys' defensive and individual defensive effort.
Yeah, we saw Joey Skinner and Forster Ajago on the bench tonight, and I guess it's two questions really. First of all, should we expect to see them more often now that there are some players out on international duty? And then the second part is, what do they need to do in order to get some minutes with the Nashville team?
Yeah, for me, I definitely think that it's important to try to integrate some of the younger guys as we're on these spells, and both of them have been performing well. Joey's coming back off an injury. Forster's been doing really well playing with the second team. And so I think for them, just as young players, is being consistent and impactful. And the more they do that, the more opportunities will be afforded to them. But also, depending on the course of the game, is trying to figure out when we can put them into situations that can also affect our team positively. Because we do, have confidence in their abilities, and it's just also putting them in the right situations to succeed.
Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. We'll be back shortly. Nice coach.
I think Ben Wright just jumped in. Do you have a question or something?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. Roomba, you may have been asked this already. I was just kind of curious about in the last 20, 25 minutes, how you used kind of Sam and Teal. It seemed like they were starting from a lot wider, and I was just curious about kind of the decision behind that.
I think have seen value in Sam and Teal, and anytime we can get them both on the field at the same time, I think it's very dangerous for the opponents. And so they're both very flexible and genuinely honest guys, and will do the work. And so it gives us that flexibility to be able to move them around and get them both on the field. And hopefully, we want to go and win. It's not bring on a defender so that we, collect the point. We're trying to collect all 3 points. And so we have the confidence getting those guys on the field hopefully allows us to, go for those 3 points.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, so I thought of course, it always difficult results, especially coming here. We're thrilled to get the point, but as we continue to evolve, we want to come here, we want to dictate the game, and I think that they want to get 3. And so I think that is really what I'm focused on and I think the rest of the guys are as well. How can we use this as a learning moment to continue to get better, continue to come and win every single game we play?
Yeah, Jack, I guess, after starting going some on the road early, you have taken 5 points from your last 3 matches on the road. Against Cincinnati, you beat the number 2 side in the East on the road. Now you take a point off, the team, in 3rd place in the East. I guess, what do you think what do you think this team is, figuring out about being able to play away from Geodis Park?
Yeah, I mean, I think this team is relentless. I think we've showed that over the past 5-ish, 4.5 years now, that wherever we go, we're going to be very difficult to play against. And that is one thing that it's in our NSC DNA, that we're going to be resilient, we're going to be committed, and that's just who we are, and the group that we have in the locker room and everyone involved. That doesn't matter. I mean, it's very difficult to get many points, as you guys all are well aware, on the road, especially here. And that's just something that's been instilled in us for years now, being very difficult to play, difficult to break down, and doing our best to get results wherever we are.
Yeah, Jack, there's been a lot of changes, whether it was, the changing in coaching, and obviously you're expecting to have another change to come up because we know that Rumba is only on an interim basis. I'm just curious what the impact of that looks like on the locker room, and how are you and the other guys handling that?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I believe that our guys have done so well. We have this veteran, older group that everybody sort of leaned on each other. Rumba has come in and done an unbelievable job because he's used guys like Walker, he's used guys like Hani, some of the guys that have been extremely successful in this league, and we've just done it together. And I think a lot of praise goes out to Rumba. It's definitely not an easy job, and I think he's done it incredibly well, and speaks volumes to the group that we have in the locker room, that everyone stayed committed through this tough time.
Yeah, Jack, it feels kind of at the start of the year, we talked a lot about some of the defensive issues. But then in recent weeks, it feels like a lot of that has started to sort itself out. Maybe some of that coincides with Walker kind of getting healthy and back into the lineup. But I'm just kind of curious from your perspective, or I guess, has anything changed, or is it you guys just kind of executing a little bit better?
I mean, it's a great question. I think it would be dumb to say that Walker Zimmerman has not helped us at all. This guy has been best 11 for, I think it's 5 years, been defender of the year multiple times. I can't speak any more highly of Walker and the impact that he has. He's our captain. He's a guy that all of us lean on. And at the end of the day, that sort of leadership, that sort of role is something that I look up to, and I see he's an incredible role model. And I think that really what makes Walker stand out is his competitiveness. It doesn't matter if we're playing the game of cards or just any little game, horseshoes, whatever it is. He's always going to be competitive. And I think that little extra bit of belief and always wanting to win is something that just gets passed through the locker room, especially whenever in the field, whenever he's on it.
We'll go to John here in the room. Last question.
Jack, I thought that Sam had an outstanding game at both ends. We know how prolific he can be in attack, but it seemed like he dropped back a couple of times to help in defense, but he still presented himself as an outlet when you guys did improve offensively in the last, say, 20 or 25 minutes. Can you just talk about the game that Sam had at both ends of the bench?
Yeah, Sam's an incredible player. He is one that has done so well at sort of adjusting to how we've played. He hasn't been somebody that has just gone and tried to play his own game. He's been somebody that works his butt off defensively, works his butt off attacking as well. And I think that that's one of the things that we can do better, especially as a back line. We need to be getting him the ball, Hani the ball, and other playmakers the ball higher up the field, because they do all that work for us on the backside. And so we just Sam's an asset, and he's someone that I know all the guys in the locker room don't take for granted, his work on both ends of the pitch.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, everybody. As a reminder, we'll have our next